My name is Calvert, and I've been a member of the church for about 18 years and really enjoy it, and it certainly has benefited my life since I've been a member of the church. I got out of high school in 1961 and went into the Navy, U.S. Navy, in 1962 through 1968. I went to boot camp, then I went to radio school, and then I got into top secret information and clearance and materials, and spent the last 4 years the head of a top secret in our communications station. And very interesting. All this time, from the time I was 3 years old, I was adopted when I was 2, and I had my adoptive parents are my parents, and I think nothing other than that. They were wonderful to me. They brought me up in a Christian home, and I've been a Christian since I was about 8 or 9 years old. And once in a while I'll falter a little bit and get away from the church. And one of those times was when I went to boot camp in the Navy. We were not allowed to do anything but military. You could not go to church, you could not do anything. So for 8 or 10 weeks, I guess it was about 10 weeks, I did not see the inside of a church. All it was is yes sir, no sir. and we could pray if you wanted to, which I did from time to time, that I would make it out of boot camp alive. But once I got out of boot camp, I went to radio school, spent 6 months in radio school, and at the point I was still somewhat away from the church. I was away from home, never been away from home before, and so I was free, and so any free time I had, I spent doing whatever I wanted to do. Mm-hmm. And I kind of got away from the Lord. But as time went on, I had a couple of issues. One was an issue where I was in charge of the top secret material, and also in charge of having it destroyed on a daily basis. And we had a breach of security, and we had a gentleman decide that he was going to do something. I'm not sure exactly what it was, but the good Lord was with me that night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and he made me do the right things. And we took the gentleman into custody without any incident, and we were all safe. And both my partner and I had our guns on him. We had to pull our guns to use them to make him do what we wanted him to do, and we had no idea whether he was armed or not, and we didn't want to take a chance. So that was one time that at that point I kind of got back to thinking more about God and what I had not been doing. And I've been living a Christian life. I didn't smoke, I didn't drink, I didn't really do much any of the bad stuff, but it was all out there, and I caught heck every once in a while for not smoking or not drinking, and things like that. But God stayed with me, and He was certainly a dominant factor in my life, especially during my Navy career. And then another time, and this happened when I was in the Navy, but it didn't have anything to do with my work. But I was at a gas station pumping gas in my car, and a lady lost control of her car, pinned me up against a light pole, and it pushed me and the light pole down, pulled the light pole completely out of the concrete, and I got up and walked away without a scratch. How that happened, I have no idea, other than the Lord was with me that day. He put my hand on me and said, "Get up." And from that point on, I started living a very good Christian life, going to church, being involved with Christians, talking to people about Christ and God. And and I guess the third thing was we were in a lockdown. We got locked down. I was in during the Cuban crisis and the early part of the Vietnam War. And I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, at a communications station. And we had been told that there's always a possibility it could be a lockdown, could not communicate with anybody outside the communication station at that point, when it was a top security situation. And nothing ever happened for about 2 years. And then all of a sudden one day, they called me in when I was off. And my wife says, "Where are you going?" I said, "I don't know. They called me and I have to go in to the communication station. I have no idea what's going on. They wouldn't tell me." So we were not allowed to call our wives or anything. And so God was with me and my wife at that point, and indicated that, you know, just pray about it, you know, and everything will be okay. And our neighbors were good friends. He was in the Coast Guard, and so him and her kind of took my wife under their arms and kind of stayed with her and give her the strength to deal with it. And in 30 days, she had no idea what was going on. And of course, I didn't need it really. Other than I knew I was stuck there, and of course, I can't talk about what was going on at that point. But so that was the three things that really come back to get me in line with God again in Christ. And during that lockdown, there were 3 other sailors that were, and the 3 of them were not Christians at that point. And they asked me, and they said, "Well, what are you doing about this? How come you're not all excited and crazy about this?" And I said, "Well, I just pray to God, and He gives me the strength to deal with this." I said, "One day it's going to be over with, and everything's going to be fine." And they said, "Well, we've never gone to church or anything." I said, I said, "You're welcome to go to a church I go to. My wife and I go to, if we ever get out of here." I wish it was a joke. But those 3 guys were saved. They were Christians, and that was one of the happiest days or months in my life. To see those guys turn around. They were drinkers, they were smokers, they were carousers, and they just straightened their acts up. And I played ball with all 3 of them. So, and I was the only one that didn't drink, smoke, or carouse around that much. But they ended up being very good people. They were from 3 different states. One was from Iowa, one was from Alabama, and New York, I think. And so they all went back to their own things after they got out. They got out not too long after I got out, so they'd been in about the same amount of time as I had. But and I kind of lost contact with them after a while, and I've not heard anything from them. I tried to look them up on the internet, but I have not found any of them yet. So still looking.
That's great. The Lord used you to make a difference. The Lord used you in the Army, in the Navy, to make a difference in those guys' lives.
I think so, and He gave me the opportunity to kind of see how I can help people. And to this day, I'm still doing the same thing. I work at the food pantry, and as Gene does, Gene's one of the people on the board at the food pantry, and he's always trying to steal me from the day shift at the food pantry. Come to nights. And then I
deal for you.
I volunteer at CR on Thursday night. I volunteer at the food pantry on Wednesday. And all of those things are fun things for me to do. And so that's kind of my story.
All right.
Turn it over to Gene Sanders.
Very good. Thank you.